Hi, I'm AJ. He's Brent. He's awesome. But unfortunately, you will not be seeing him anymore this episode. Sorry, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But on to the first story of the day, which is actually kind of sad. Throwback to... Man, I haven't said throwback in a while. Anyway, throwback to the oldest woman in the world story, which is we covered months ago, about how, there was the oldest lady declared last January, and then there was somebody found 48 days older, and then she died, and so it was back to this lady in Georgia. Well, Bessie Cooper of Georgia, the oldest lady in the world, 116 years old, has passed away. We don't know where that leaves the oldest person in the world right now, but we really need to focus on this right now. I really believe, because come on, oldest lady in the world has passed away, and it's just really peaceful from what they're saying. Her last thing that she really did was watch a Christmas movie, so in my mind, perfect. I mean, condolences to the family, but really, she lived an amazing life. But now time for a section I like to call Things AJ is Worried About. First of which is a proposed law that has me shaking in my boots, really. Not because I've done anything wrong myself, but because, well, it's just creepy. This is basically a group of cops and law enforcement officers across the United States are pushing for, well, logs of Americans' text messages. Basically, they would ask for companies to keep track of everybody's text messages for 2 years. Now, there's two reasons why this scares me. One is because it's basically insinuating that you're all guilty and we just want to, have logs of when that is. And basically intruding in on free speech. This is basically like saying, we want to read your emails. No matter what, you can't delete them or anything. Scary. The other part about this is scary is companies don't have the money or room for this. I make and help make servers for a living. Companies, they don't have the memory capabilities for this, and servers cost a lot of money. They can't do this. I mean, with the economy like it is right now, that is one of the worst things you can do, is ask companies to pay more money into something. And on to the next thing that worries me, mainly the World Conference on International Telecommunications. If you don't know what this is, basically it's a group of world leaders get together and say, telecommunications, what can we do about this all and everything? Mainly the internet. And what's really scary about this is that it's behind closed doors. There are no reporters or anything allowed. Basically, the leaders are just getting together and saying, how can we control the internet? Bad idea. No. If you know anything about the internet, it is best free and open. Sharing of information is how it was built. If you try and limit that, you limit its potential. Sure, you take away some of the bad things, but you take away a lot of the good. Contact your senators, people, everything right now, because this needs to stop. They cannot be making decisions like this about free speech behind closed doors. And for last bit of news that scares me to death, coming out of Amsterdam, strangely enough. And you wouldn't think too much would come out of Holland, but this one is really creeping me out. The famed city is deciding to take control more of its people. They've decided that, that there's a few too many complaints going around, so we're just going to create what we're going to call scum villages, where, nuisance neighbors and antisocial tenants will be exiled from the city and rehoused in caravans or containers with minimal services and under constant police supervision. What the did you learn nothing from World War II? That's exactly what the Germans did to the Jews right before, well, they started slaughtering them. This has always led to bad things. Even when we, as Americans, kind of did the same thing with the Japanese, guess what? We realized what stupid thing we were doing and stopped it. This is a terrible idea, and it's going to lead to racism and hate against the poor people and the supposed antisocial people. I've been called antisocial at times. Would you kick me out? I mean, how would you even regulate something like that? And that's it for depressing stories. Kind of. Our next one is I'm kind of ambivalent on, and I really don't know where to feel. No, I know way specific feel on things. Anyway, just go forward on it. That is, if you've been on Facebook at all recently, you may have noticed a picture of, well, dogfighting with in a bar with banners of well, depicting Heineken promotional things around it. It's been tossed around the interwebs for a while. I'm not going to post it here because what the rest of the story is, but you know, everyone's condemning Heineken and just like, how can you do such a thing? Well, just so you know, Heineken has come out with this official letter that states, one, this is a bar in Mongolia. They had nothing to do with it. You know, two, really, they had nothing to do with it. The banners were there from a previous venue thing for Heineken the night before, and the owner of the bar forgot to take it down. You know, further on, they do not support dogfighting at all. This is utterly, you know, despicable to them. They don't want to be associated with this, and so they have removed absolutely every tie to this bar that they possibly could. Pulled all stock, pulled all banners, pulled all, you know, future relationships with them. Heineken will no longer be sold at this venue at all. Not only that, they've instructed their suppliers in the area to actually, you know, look at who they're supplying to more closely and say, you know, anything like this, stop selling to. Overall, not a bad reaction for a bear company. And for our last story, we're going to head up into space like I like to do. Mainly kind of a throwback to the whole Voyager thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Voyager 1 space probe, the first man-made object that will exit the solar system and is now hitting what's called the magnetic highway. Basically, you know what, in space, yeah, sure, there's a bunch of stuff out there, but it's not scattered randomly. There are energy lines, they're like magnetic lines and stuff like that. And, well, Voyager is hitting one of those major ones. It's kind of an intersection between the sun's magnetic lines and, you know, outer space's magnetic lines, and may actually help, you know, speed the process up. It's gathering information, you know, of, you know, losing the sun particles, finding particles that are only found out in, well, outer space, stuff we've never seen before. We have no idea what to expect, and it's amazing. I mean, the fact that we've been able to take something and send it 11 billion miles away, and we're still receiving information from it. It's still working. I mean, geez, my cell phone doesn't even have that good of reception. I mean, awesome. And that's why we shouldn't cancel the space program, because awesome stuff is out there. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us here on Extraordinary Times. If you liked it, like it, favorite, subscribe, all of that kind of stuff. Share us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, whatever you use. Is there anything else out there nowadays? I'm not sure. Tell me in the comments below. And always, be aware. I should read more into.